G'day guys, we've got quite a cool game between Ace Cytree and the Real Git on John's Pass. John's Pass is one of those classic maps that has provided some very entertaining matchups in the past. We've got a version of it in Forged Alliance Forever. I've played it a few times. There's some minor modifications that they've made to the map, but it's basically the same. So yeah, we've got a matchup between Ace Cytree and the Real Git. So those are two of my favourite players of Total Annihilation. I like the Real Git. He's a great guy. He's from England. One of my fellow clanmates in Ace. Actually, they both Ace. And Ace Cytree, I really like him because he always goes core. Now on this map especially, ARM has got all the advantages. They've got the BB, they've got the Pelicans. Core's really got nothing to work with, but Ace Cytree always seems to pull something out of his ass. He always makes it work for him. So we'll see what he does today. So he's gone vehicles first, and Git has come in with a freedom fighter. So that's one of the advantages that Core does have, is the Core bomber is a little bit better than the Armed Thunder. So Ace has obviously made the assumption that Cytree would go bomber first, and so he's gone freedom fighters first. Smart move if that's what you think he's going to do, but he hasn't. He's gone vehicles. So it's a little bit of a waste of a freedom fighter, but he's making the best use he can out of it. He's taking out a mechs. Yep, and he's got that one. But he'll have to back off now because well, he'll have to back off soon because Cytree is getting some anti-air up. Let's see, he plans to follow that up with a bomber. He's been pretty slow to get his mexes. That's the disadvantage of air first. Cytree is grabbing his mexes with his commander. We should speed it up. So what position are we at? 5%. And here comes the bomber. So let's see what kind of damage he can do with that bomber. So he'll be targeting the mexes and doing some line bombing. And we've got both of them. Great. It's one of the fun things you could do in Total Annihilation was line bombing. It's kind of similar to Forged Alliance multi-dropping, but I don't think it's quite as abusive. And so Cytree is going C now. I'll just get our cheap Swedish young spanker massive sonar so we can see underwater. He's getting ships, and Git is still covering his mexes. That's a big disadvantage of air first. So let's see, he's building an Atlas, eh? I wonder what he's going to do with that. He hasn't got any vehicles to lift. Unless he's planning on moving his commander somewhere, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Cytree is going big in the way of anti-air, because, well, he knows that Git has gone air. He's expecting more bombers. Can't help but wonder what Cytree thinks he's going to do with that metal fabricator so soon. He's only got 2 wind generators, and I can see he's turned it off already, so that was probably a bit of a waste of time. And so Git's going C now, and he's putting his dragon's teeth in. So on this map, I should talk a bit about the maps for while they're gearing up. You've got obviously your 4 metal patches on your start bit of land. You've also got 3 in the sea. Was that a bit of a bombing run? Doesn't look like he got much. So you got your 4 at the starting and 3 in the sea, so you'll want to go ships and construction unit quite quickly to get that ASAP. And then in a 1v1 setup, you want to cross over to the other side, grab those 4 and likewise there's 3 mexes in the ocean. Now this map is quite difficult to... oh, okay, here comes the Atlas. It looks like he wants to do a commander nap. Oh, that's cheeky. That's very cheeky. But he doesn't get away with it. Oh, very cheeky. And now, what was I saying? So yeah, this map is it's quite difficult to manage because you've basically got 4 routes to the enemy. You've got 2 ocean routes and 2 land routes, and you need to pay attention to all of them. Otherwise, if any one of them fall, you're in trouble. So the 2 things to realize that you're probably going to be stronger if you're the top left player. You're probably going to be stronger in the ocean and the land on the left, and weaker on the right. So you can mix it up however you want, but like I would normally play aggressively on the left and defensively on the right. Cytree's going kind of passive-aggressive over here. He's built a line of missile turrets quite far down. Kind of gives Git something to worry about without spending too much. These missile turrets are quite cheap. He's also backing them up with gators, it looks like. And then on the right hand side you're going to be quite weak. You can see it looks like he's going to lose some construction ships over here. Yeah, that's always the difficulty. So Cytree's got a shipyard on both sides now, that's good. He's getting a sub up. We'll see whether he's going to use that offensively or defensively. And Git has started his power spam. So once again in Total Annihilation you do not upgrade mexes, instead you build heaps of power and convert it into metal with metal fabricators. Git's got started on that already. Later on these guys will probably build advanced shipyards and start spamming out hives and colossi, which are aircraft carriers, but they also generate a shitload of energy. Yeah, if Cytree didn't have his sub over there, he'd be in a bit of trouble over there, but that sub's going to clean up those skids, no problems. Don't think he'll lose his shipyard. Yeah, and these missile turrets, they didn't cost Cytree a lot, but they've certainly caused Git to spend quite a lot. That Guardian is worth 1500 metal, so it's definitely slowed him down, made him think, and made him spend metal. That's 1500 metal that could have been a sub up here causing all kinds of problems, but instead it's safely down there where it can't really do any harm. I mean, there's no mexes here to protect. Alright, so we've got Git building some Crusaders, and Cytree's gone for 2 factories. Still building skeets. We'll see what he builds with the second factory. Yeah, and then there's also a 5th route that you should probably think about as well, is the air route. So obviously bombers can go over the mountain to the other guy's base. Bombers and hawks are 2 favourites. There's probably also nukes later on. And then the BBs, they're not quite as effective as they are on the wide open maps because of the mountain in the way. Quite often people will put BBs on these little rocky outposts over here, or little outcrops. And then they can get kind of limited coverage on the guy's land base over there, take out some important structures. But these mountains will certainly get in the way. You won't be able to shoot from there into this base over here, for example. Another favourite move for the core is the core can often build the K-bot lab and build thuds, which can actually walk on the mountains, walk down here and shoot artillery onto all of this stuff, cause all kinds of problems. Now it looks like Cytree's managed to sneak some gators into Git's base over here, and there's not too much defense. There's basically one anti-air turret which is now dead. Looks like he's going to have to rely on... Did those gators kill the construction aircraft? Looks like they did. But Git's going to have to rely on those bombers to kill those gators. And he gets one of them. And then the difficulty is with the mountains over there, the bombers tend to drop long, which is exactly what they've done. So they've missed their target. And that was a terrible bomb as well. I'd laugh if that... yeah, that gator kills the factory. And yeah, it looks like Cytree reckons that's enough. That's funny enough. He doesn't need to waste any more micro time on that. So that was quite effective. That's cleaned out pretty much Git's start aisle over there, just a couple of gators. So that's one thing about Cytree's style. I don't know if it's a necessity because he always plays core, or whether it's just his personality. His style is uncomplicated and very direct. You can see his expansion, or if you remember his expansion, he started over there, built his factory, walked across, and planted those factories down there. He hasn't built anything to defend against imaginary fears. He builds everything according to what he can see. He can see that there's some pels over here, and in response he's putting up, well, first of all he put up these light laser turrets. He didn't want to spend on heavy laser turrets, I guess, so far away from anything that's really invaluable. And he's building these guys. It's a strange choice to defend against pels. Maybe he's expecting some crusaders to come up that side. But definitely it looks like he's playing defensive on his strong side, and he's going for offense on his weak side. That's the opposite to what I normally do, but I guess they're both viable tactics, and you should choose one based on what you see your enemy doing. But anyway, he's building his defense in response to those pels. He's reclaimed his vehicle factory. I guess he reckons the gators are now obsolete. And meanwhile, on the right hand side, he builds up his offensive force of enforcers. Still that sub lurking around over there. Now those pels shouldn't be able to get anywhere near the land. It's well defended. So it will be soon once. It'd be good if we could have paused those factories or something to complete those punishers a bit sooner. But anyway, he's got them both online now. He's lost that factory, but that's no big deal. He'll be able to reclaim all that mass once the pels are gone. Or he could just put his commander underwater and reclaim it quite safely. Not sure where his commander is. Oh, there he is. Commander walking around. Perfect position to reclaim stuff. Now, for those of you not familiar with Total Annihilation, the Pelicans are actually a kind of a bugged unit. Their hull is underwater, which is the point that the missile turrets target, which means that the missile turrets, you can see, always land short, and they never actually hit the Pelican itself. What's actually killing the pelicans here is the submarine, which is being manually targeted. Submarines won't automatically target the pearls. Cytree is manually targeting, and that's the one that's actually killing the pearls this time. Once the skeets can get close enough, they can use their laser, but still one-on-one with the pearl, no chance. And there's the enforcers cleaning up some flashies. Alright, so Git has gone advanced on the left there. Got some Farks. He's building his Moho metal maker. So that means he's probably got quite a lot of energy to spare. Yep, there we go. He's got his Colossuses started. He's got 3 of them started in fact. Cytree is just starting on his first. He's got a buttload of bombers though. We'll have to keep an eye on those. See what he does with them. And Git started his BB on one of the outcroppings. So that BB will probably be able to reach these Punishers. I don't think this mountain will get in the way. It'll be able to shoot over it. So it will be able to take out those defences, which will leave Cytree wide open to attack from these pelicans. So I wonder what he thinks he needs that for. Possibly skeeter defense. But anyway, we should need to keep an eye on that BB. Now both sides are building up quite large numbers of enforcers. I predict quite a large battle between those guys in the future. That'll be fun to watch. And he's got his 2 vehicles pumping out, assisting the aircraft factory, pumping out shadows. These guys are devastating. Do love a good shadow. We've got it on +10 speed. This game does, I'm pretty sure it does get better later on. Once they start fighting with these guys, it's going to be exciting. Just a bit of a lull over here. So what else can I say about the Cytree? So the other thing about Cytree, so he started playing when Total Annihilation first came out, and he got really good, and then he retired, and came back once every while to play a game. So he's kind of a like a rusty old pro. And if you've ever played a sport like rugby, or I guess or any contact sport, I guess, if you ever played in the lower grades, you would have played a lot of games with a mix of young guys and old guys. And so Cytree is like, he reminds me of one of the old guys on the rugby pitch. He'd be old and wouldn't be able to move as fast anymore, but he's got the experience behind him, and he knows where to run. He knows what to do. So it's fun to watch them play against the young guys. Young guys who are all about early aggression and trying to get the early advantage, and old guys just taking their time and being methodical. That's kind of how Cytree is. Takes his time and he's methodical. 2 shadows take out the Moho metal maker, so put a bit of a dent in Git's mass income. I think they're 12 each. I think they give you an income of 12. Oh, there goes Cytree. He's getting a nuke going. Okay. Let's see. Alright, now we've got some action. So I have to say it's pretty even numbers, but Cytree's the one that's attacking. It's yeah, I don't know, he's doing very good unit control over there. Okay, he's going to use his bombers to get the advantage of the Navy, right. I hope he's going to have enough bombers left over for that BB. But he has lost a lot of enforcers. Most of those wrecks you see there are his. Oh, that's because the bombers destroyed the wrecks for the Crusaders. But yeah, I think you'll want to be careful here. You could quite easily, once you lose all your units, you'll be on the back foot. He feels he needs to make some impact. So probably he reckons that he's seen Git being quite aggressive on the left with Pels. He probably figures it's better to attack on the right, and that's what he's doing. Now he really needs to follow behind that lot with a construction aircraft or a construction ship or something to suck up those wrecks ASAP. Because he's lost a lot of enforcers and he needs to replace them. Now the thing about this applies equally well to Forged Alliance. I heard someone describe it as strategic attrition once. The further you get away from your factories, the weaker your units are, and that's exactly what's happening here. So for a short moment over there, Git was quite far behind in units, but because they're fighting close to the factories, those units are reinforced incredibly quickly. Whereas Cytree's reinforcements, see how long they have to go to travel. That guy's not doing anything. That guy's not doing anything. None of those guys are doing anything, while the 2 guys or 4 guys up the front are getting hammered. I think might have been a mistake on Cytree's part. I think he's pushed too hard over there, and he hasn't followed up by eating the wrecks. So what I like to do is, when I'm making progress like that, is actually build factories down the front over here. So I'm building stuff closer to the front lines and get my reinforcements in there, minimize the strategic attrition. So he's got his nuke up. I don't think there's any way to see what progress he's got. Could be a while before he has anything to fire. We'll have to watch that. It's going to be cool. And he's built a Timmy over there, an Intimidator. So going head to head with the Big Bertha, the Intimidator will lose 9 times out of 10 because the Intimidator just doesn't have the same accuracy. It's got slightly more range, but it just doesn't have the accuracy. You'll be firing at that Timmy will be firing at that Big Bertha all day before it hits it, whereas the Big Bertha, maybe 3 shots and Timmy's down. I've seen it over and over again. The Timmy just gets blasted to pieces, sniped by the BB. And Git's got these Conquerors as well, so it's not looking good for Cytree in the right hand side over here. Git is sucking up all those wrecks, building factories, and no doubt putting it into his BB, which is in fact now complete. And the BB is firing up here. Maybe that Intimidator is just a decoy to. Oh, here comes the nuke. Here comes the nuke. Where is that nuke going? The nuke's going on the BB. Excellent target. That nuke has saved the Timmy, and that Timmy will now be able to cause all kinds of problems down there. Well, not to mention that nuke. Git had better get an anti-nuke somewhere. It looks like he's learnt his lesson. He's staying back there. But in the meantime, Git has snuck his sub down over here and is taking out the mexes in the sea. And he's having a bit of a think, flying his... no? I think changed his mind. It's going back again. Yeah, but you can see all the colossi that gets built. They've got nuclear reactors on them. I think they have a net energy output of 500, so they're well worth building. And so Cytree's gone for a second nuke over here. This is great. 2 nukes. But it does look like he's in big trouble on the right hand side. Git has got the tech advantage. These guys have got much longer range. And I think Git is being a little bit more cautious about how he presses up over there. He's not just sending them all in at once. He's kind of keeping them... Oh, okay. So Cytree's rushed in. But it is leaving wreckage for Cytree now to eat if he can hold, and if he can get construction units in there to reclaim it. But yeah, Git like a boss is sucking up those wrecks as fast as he can. What's he going to do with this bomber? Those make really nice targets because when they explode they damage all their neighbours as well. Quite a large area of effect. I would like to see some bombers take those out. Oh, a nuke lands on the head. Yeah, those nukes are devastating. That's a lot of energy that gets lost. Let that be a lesson not to bunch your colossi up like that. Keep them all spread out. Yeah, but this isn't looking good on the right hand side for Cytree. It's not looking good at all. He's going to lose his shipyards. Yeah, Cytree's been a little bit more patient about how he approaches the shipyards. Git's been a bit more patient, I should say. Yeah, no, it's not looking good at all. Lost all his factories. Better get those guys out of there. I don't know what he can do to defend. He needs to get those factories up again ASAP. Maybe build some Punishers over here, except the Punishers aren't going to outrange these Conquerors. I'd say pretty much the only option he's got is some kind of snipe. He's got his Timmies working on those ships. I don't know how many kills they got, but he had his Timmies working on that. They have thinned out those, killed all the Conquerors, thinned out the Colossuses. Here's some advanced bombers. That was a terrible bombing run. Didn't take out any of the good targets. That's a big mistake as well. Poor bomber control. Those were expensive bombers. Where's his advanced aircraft factory? I missed that. There it is. And he's got Farks assisting them all out. But missed all the good targets. Don't know what that used to be, but it can't be nearly as juicy as those targets. All that fusion. Cytree had better pull something out of his ass soon, because it's not long for this world. He's still got 2 nukes over there. He should be able to do something with those. There's a commander over there, but does he know that's where he is? For me, I would be scouting. There we go, he's scouting. He's seen the commander. There you go, the nukes. This could be the end of Git. There it is, it's the end of Git. Game over. Nukes, 2 nukes on the head. How about that? Saves Cytree from the jaws of death. Wow. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you want to see more, comment, subscribe, let me know.